The strength of a man's soul determines the quality of his life. I want to talk to you about soul strength. I want to talk to you about understanding the significant importance of working on who you are. Now, there's a couple of things to consider with this whole soul strength thing. Is first to understand that our soul is where the Bible speaks of. When you read the word heart in the Bible, it actually speaks of your soul, your mind, your body, your will, your emotions, your intellect. All of that is included in your soul. So when we talk about being strong, we're talking about being strong as a whole man. But there's ways to do that. One of the ways that we have to look at, and this will take us in our pathway today, one of the things that we must look at in totality is, do I value my soul? Now, if you're like me, you can begin to list people in your life that do value their soul and others that don't value their soul. The guys that value their soul, they work at growing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Guys that don't abuse their soul. Did you know that a healthy soul, a strong soul, will lengthen the life of a man? Here's what I'm saying. Let's talk about anxiety for just a minute. Believe it or not, that's one of the top things that men deal with is anxiety. Why are they anxious? I was in a conversation one time with some younger guys that I have the privilege of sitting with on occasion, and there's a question that popped up, and it was this: if weed is legalized, is it okay to smoke it? So I sat back and listened, and I thought for a minute, and here's what I responded. I don't think the legalization and the freedom to smoke is the question. I think the real question is, why are you so anxious that you need to medicate or have help dealing with your anxiety? That's the question. But to go deeper into that, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that's driving the anxiety, the frustration, the angst in our lives? It's rooted in our soul. So when we begin to work on our soul and strengthen our soul, we begin to see and understand that this soul, this heart the Bible talks about, my mind, will, emotions, intellect, when I begin to strengthen those things and I begin to understand that there is a power inside of me that God created, that if I'll just steward well, if I'll do well with it, then I'll become a strong man. You know, strength, I've got friends who are bodybuilders, weightlifters, runners, all sorts of athletic stamina, power. They're just animals. They're really great guys, but there's something that they all will tell you, is that the older they get, the harder they have to work. The older they get, the harder they have to work. And there's a pressure against our bodies called time. So time, when we start thinking about our soul strength, we have to take two things into consideration. The first is the time that I invest in my soul strength, developing it, and the time that I have left on this earth. Those are two bookends. How we deal with what's in the middle is up to us. And I will tell you, more than 9 times out of 10, when guys tell me that they have not been working on their soul to develop their mind, their heart, their emotional IQ, how they feel, think, how they deal with pressure and stress, one of the things that continually rises up and surfaces, bubbles up to the top, is the second thing I want to mention to you, and it's this. It's discipline. Discipline. Am I a disciplined person when it comes to making sure my soul gains health, that I feed my soul, that I give my soul the fruit and the food and the nourishment it needs to be strong, to be bold, to be courageous, and to win the game against all odds. Hey, you can do this. Let's go.